Duck Against the Clock, A Tale of Tardiness, by Teddy Snuggletail for Comfy Corner Time. Once upon a time, many moons ago, in a sandpit deep and dusty, lived a little rubber duck called Sunshine, golden and fine. One particular morning, under the deep blue sky, Sunshine felt a tug of sadness. She had dreamt of splashing in waters cool and deep, far away from her dusty, dry heap. "Oh, to swim," she quacked with a sigh, imagining bobbing about under an endless sky. "What are you thinking about?" asked Dumper Dave, noticing Sunshine's distant gaze. "Oh, I was just thinking, seeing as I'm a duck, how wonderful it would be to swim in cool, clear water," she sighed. Dave frowned in thought. "What's with the serious faces?" hooted Digger Dan. "Oh, I was thinking of building Sunshine a pond," Dave mused. Dan, eager for a new project, quickly took charge. "Sunshine, can you mark out the corners with twigs?" he asked. Sunshine, brimming with excitement, quickly gathered sticks. "Dave, here's the plan. I'll dig and you shape a bank around the edges with the soil," instructed Dan. Dave, thrilled, revved his engine. "Brilliant! Let's get started!" All day the sound of digging and moving earth filled the air. Sunshine flitted back and forth, marking out boundaries, her feathers dusted with soil. Engines hummed and roared as Dan and Dave formed neat banks around the expertly carved-out pond. Soon the sun dipped below the horizon. The team stepped back, admiring their work. Bodies weary but spirits high. "Meet again at dawn," ordered Dan, and with that they all retired for a well-deserved sleep. Next morning, bright and early, and a little sore and stiff, Sunshine and Dave arrived at the site. But where was Dan? They pressed on without him. Sunshine fluttering around to assist as much as she could. Above them, dark clouds rolled in, promising rain. They worked faster, gripped with a sense of urgency. The pond needed to be ready before the rain came, and every moment counted. Heavy raindrops began to pelt the sand, echoing Sunshine's growing despair. "We're not going to make it," she quacked, her voice tinged with worry. Beside her, Dave pushed himself to the limit, but it was clear they were falling behind. Just then, Dan rolled in, leisurely. He yawned widely, casually slipping his steaming mug of engine oil, oblivious to the urgency of the situation and the desperate hard work of his friends. Dan arrived unaware of his lateness until he saw the worry etched on Sunshine and Dave's faces. Surprised by their progress, he quickly downed his engine oil and sprang into action. "I'm sorry, he began, but Dave interrupted. "No time for apologies, just help." Immediately, Dan threw himself into the work, his movements swift and eager, trying hard to make up for lost time. As the final touch was added, the toys collapsed, exhausted but triumphant. The rain began to pour, washing them clean of dirt and sand. The downpour, steady and relentless, filled the pond quickly. No sooner had it arrived, the shower had passed. The sun, now bright and warm, shimmered brilliantly on the water. The toys gazed in awe at their creation. The beautiful pond, its sturdy banks holding strong against the deep blue water within, and now a perfect haven under the clear skies. Excitement and nervousness set butterflies in her stomach. Sunshine waddled to the slipway and plunged into the water with a joyful splash. The sensation was marvellous. She bobbed and floated with ease. A radiant smile illuminated her face. The water, cool and gentle, so different from the rough, familiar sand. It was an absolute delight, even better than she had dreamt. Dave and Dan stood on the bank, their eyes following Sunshine's joyful splashing about in the water. A sense of pride and happiness filled them, knowing they had played a part in this wonderful moment. Dan felt a twinge of guilt for his earlier tardiness. The realization struck him hard. He had nearly let his friends down and spoiled this perfect moment. Silently, he vowed to himself to be punctual from now on and always be there for his friends when they needed him. It is better to be 10 minutes early than 5 minutes late. Tardiness is not just about time. It's a matter of respect and responsibility towards others.